No PI license is needed for this vlog. What's up everybody? Mel here again with Sunrise Compass. Getting your inventory position is important for your entire supply chain, but especially for your stores. Not having this right can mean lost sales, incorrect stock levels, misrepresented financials. So let's talk to one of our PI pros, Chris Bruckbauer, to find out how physical inventories can help keep your counts correct. Hey Chris, welcome to Compass Vlog Fame.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Start us off by telling those who may not be aware what a physical inventory is and how often a store usually has one.
Sure. A physical inventory, it's simply an audit of your on-hand inventory. You're comparing what you physically have on your shelves against your system records, and then you're aligning those two. So one of the main functions at the end of the inventory is to reconcile any differences. Most stores, warehouses will do a physical inventory either at the start or end of their financial year. Many companies will do physical inventories quarterly or even monthly in some cases.
That's right, and stores in high theft areas might do more inventory checks too.
Absolutely. If a store wants to get a sense of the extent or magnitude of the theft, they're going to conduct a full physical inventory.
Some of us might have heard of cycle counts though. What makes those different from physical inventories?
Physical inventories, which are also known as wall-to-wall inventories, are a common alternative to cycle counts. A physical inventory really is done at a very set point in time. So say like on a Saturday where operations completely shut down, everybody comes in and they help the count and they get it done within 24 hours. Cycle counts, on the other hand, are meant to be done over a longer period of time. Days, sometimes weeks, sometimes throughout the entire month. And they're driven by very specific criteria. So sometimes the date of the last count or the inventory value, counting your highest value items first. All of these things can be used and sometimes are used to supplement a physical inventory as an inventory control method.
Yep, and in my retail experience, we would do cycle counts more often for items near the front of the store that were susceptible to grab and run stealing. How are these physical inventory counts usually performed?
The standard out-of-the-box way to do a count and update your on-hand inventory is through the inventory management module. You're creating a counting journal, which is the first step in it. You're entering the lines and then putting a count and a worker associated with that. It's the bare bones minimum. Once you've completed that count, you post the journal and your on-hand inventory has been updated. Now, advanced warehousing, of course, uses count work. And once the user has completed their counts on the mobile device, it creates a counting journal. And once that journal is posted, your on-hand inventory has been updated.
Do most companies use a third-party service to perform the count, or do they do it themselves?
That's an excellent question. In my experience, it really varies. Some retail stores prefer that their own counters do the counts because they're familiar with the product. Others prefer to have a count group do it, a third-party count service come in with their own hardware and software.
So if you're using a service, what data is sent to them and received back so you can get that count applied to your on-hand in D365?
So one of the really key pieces that I found in order for a third party to successfully count inventory is you've got to have your product and your locations barcoded so that everyone's speaking the same language. Additionally, it's almost a necessity that you're going to need to provide an item master along with unit of measure information so that the counters, who are probably not going to be familiar with the product, know what the right unit of measure to count is in.
And that data file that's coming back from the service, we usually still have to massage it to get it into D365, right?
That's absolutely correct. So the nice thing about having so much of this standardized within D365 is that a third-party count group, especially if they have your item master or because they have your item master, they can easily generate an export file that we can then manipulate, create a count journal, and use data management to upload that counting journal into D365 to correct our on-hand variances.
All right, got a question. So why didn't Microsoft just make an out-of-the-box physical inventory module to have this stuff ready-made?
I have actually talked to Microsoft about this. So traditionally, physical inventories, and this has been known for a very, very long time, physical inventories have a lot of problems with accuracy. So if you think about the physical inventory process, it's a Saturday. Everybody comes in, they're excited. You've got people from the front office, they're helping you count, but the day drags on. It's 11 o'clock, it's 12 o'clock. You get a big pizza lunch and everyone eats lunch in the conference room and then goes back out and count. Now people are kind of ready to get out of there, so mistakes start being made. Some people are just flubbing their counts so they can get out early. This is where you can see a lot of problems come into your inventory. So by the end of that process, you have a physical count that is kind of questionable, and very likely over the next month, you're going to find a lot of variances that were created during your physical inventory process. So with all of that in mind, it's just been the more commonly accepted way to do an inventory control process of cycle counting. And I think with that mindset is really why Microsoft decided, hey, we're going to focus just on cycle counting as opposed to the full physical inventory process.
Great info, Chris. Any final thoughts for us?
Absolutely. D365 cycle count processing, especially with advanced warehousing, is an incredibly powerful tool. There's a lot of flexibility, a lot of complexity that you can add in, and you can do a variety of things to make it a really great solution for your client. The one thing I would really want to drive home is keep in mind just flexibility and the wide variety of needs that an organization might have to conduct their counts. We tend to think of physical inventories as somewhat static processes, but they're really not. They can be done for a whole variety of reasons. And again, it's very common for people to do physical inventories and cycle counts as a means of giving a more complete overall inventory control process.
Man, I love talking about physical inventories because I've been interacting with them my entire working life, but not everybody has had that experience. So thanks to Chris, we now know more about what physical inventories are all about. All right, join us next time on Sunrise Compass. See you later.